Hello, and welcome back to Wisdom Warriors, the channel that inspires, motivates, educates, gives useful tips on life experiences. I'd like to say a big thank you to our subscribers, and I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to new subscribers. It is free to subscribe, and when you do so, you can hit the notification bell which will send you alerts and let you know when there's a new video to watch. I'd also like to say a very big thank you for the encouraging and kind comments that you send in the comment section. Today's video is my personal story of how I've battled with diabetes and how I've managed to reverse it from full-blown diabetes to being almost completely free of the disease. Before I go into my story, I'm just going to give some facts about diabetes. I think this will help people who are not quite sure what the disease is, how it starts, how it develops, and what to do when it does develop and you're diagnosed with it, and also how you can work really hard to reverse the status. I will be reading the facts from a script, so do bear with me and forgive me because I will have to look down every now and then at the notes. Diabetes, in particular type 2 diabetes, is a rapidly growing health concern globally, driven by urban lifestyle changes like altered diets and reduced physical activity. It affects people of all ages, even children. Children most commonly suffer from type 1 diabetes. With diabetes, the blood sugar or glucose amounts in the body are too high because the body doesn't produce enough insulin or can't use it properly. The sugar comes from carbohydrates in food and drinks. Glucose builds up in the bloodstream, and this causes high blood sugar levels. Diabetes can lead to serious long-term complications such as nerve, kidney, and heart damage, and even limb amputations. Diabetes is often described as an insidious disease because it often has slow developing, mild, or even no symptoms for many years, meaning people can live with it for a long time before being diagnosed. And there are millions of people walking around in the world with the condition, unaware that they have it or are at risk of having it. Type 2 diabetes is the most common type of diabetes and can be linked to factors like age, weight, family history, and ethnicity. Diabetes can be managed to reduce risk of complications through sticking to a balanced diet consisting of diabetes-friendly foods, nutritious foods, and avoiding or limiting foods which spike sugar levels. Engaging in regular exercise or physical activity, taking medication when prescribed by a doctor diligently, having regular health checks like blood tests, and attending health programs when they're offered. The common symptoms of diabetes are increased thirst and urination, tiredness and weakness, unexplained weight loss, blurred vision, slow healing sores, itchy skin, for example, jock itch, which develops just under the belly. And this is something that I had, and I had no idea what it was until I did some research. Also, frequent infections such as skin, gum, or vaginal infections or other infections. Now, these symptoms can be non-suspect, and many people don't put them down to anything being wrong or seriously wrong with their body. And people might think, oh, urinating a lot, it must be because I'm drinking a lot of fluid. I've got blurred vision. Maybe I need to see the optician. Um, I'm losing weight. Maybe it's because I'm not eating properly or I'm not eating enough food. So these symptoms are very tricky. They give you a false impression, little knowing that you're developing or you may be developing diabetes. I'm hoping that this video will help people who are struggling with diabetes and would like to know how they can reverse their diabetes status back to normal. So I'm now going to tell you my story of how I managed to reverse my diabetes status. There's a very strong history of diabetes in my family, and I remember that it caused a lot of complications and pain for my late parents and my late sister, and I was determined not to let this happen to me. The first time I was made aware of being at high risk of diabetes was in February 2017 after a routine blood test. That was early 2017. 6 months later, my doctor told me that I needed to take action because my blood sugar was 51 or 6.8%. Below 42 or 5.9% is considered normal and diabetes free. There are two main units of measuring glucose or sugar in the blood. The first one uses a number, hence the 51 I've mentioned. And the second method uses percentages, and that's the 6.8% that I mentioned. This will depend on where in the world you are, what method your country uses. 41 or 5.9 is normal, considered normal. When I looked up this number 51, I realized the severity of my situation and I was completely flabbergasted. At the time, I didn't have enough information to deal with my situation because regarding diet, most of my adult life, I had actually leant more towards a high protein diet. And so I didn't eat much in the way of carbohydrates, things like ugali, potatoes, chapati, pasta, rice. So I was a bit shocked and confused. But nevertheless, I decided to cut down my intake of sugar from 2 teaspoonfuls a day to 1 teaspoonful a week. And that was on Saturday morning, which is the only day that I drink coffee. And I don't like my coffee without sugar. So I maintained that 1 teaspoon a week. I was doing very little in the way of exercise at the time. So I decided to join the gym, and I was very excited about this. I went to the gym diligently every single weekday for about 6 months. And then when the novelty wore off, I lost interest and that faded away quite quickly. Well, after 6 months. 2018, I started walking for an hour every day after work, and I found this more interesting than going to the gym. It suited me better than the gym. I lost a lot of weight and my glucose levels dropped to 47 or 6.5%. And now I wasn't diabetic anymore. I was pre-diabetic. But I was still not paying enough attention to my diet. I still needed to do a lot more with my diet than I was doing. In 2019, my doctor referred me to a diabetes prevention program, which was very educative and made me think a lot and pay more attention to my status, my condition. Two main things came out of this for me, which things that I had heard of before, but now I needed to really take charge of my health. I needed to eat a nutritious diet that did not consist of anything that my body did not need. And I also needed to do regular physical activity. So what I did was I did exactly that. I started to pay more attention to what I was eating. I continued walking, but it was not easy because I was still working at that time and I used to be exhausted when I came home from school. So I found it really difficult to walk in this particular time of my life. And so my blood sugar level remained at 47 or 6.5%. So I was still pre-diabetic. 2020, 2021, we had COVID and lockdown. I did a lot of walking and I was walking very, very regularly. And I managed to lose quite a lot of weight, but I was still not eating properly. There's something that was just holding me back. I'm not sure what it was, but I was not eating properly still. So there was not enough balance between the exercising and the diet. They need to go hand in hand in order for this to work properly. And so I just made up excuses. Oh, it's lockdown, or I need to eat this, I need to eat that, I need to drink this, I need to drink that to keep my sanity, maintain my sanity. And those were just excuses because let me tell you, my friends, at the end of the day, the responsibility falls on you. The responsibility falls on the individual. And making excuses just doesn't do you any favors. In 2022, discipline finally kicked in. I cut out processed foods. I completely cut out alcohol, things like pizza, things like sugary food. I switched from white bread to brown bread, white pasta to brown pasta, white flour for chapatis to brown flour for chapatis, white sugar to brown sugar. I cut down the amount of fruit that I was eating in a day. I cut that down to 2 a day. There's a time I was eating 4 fruits a day. And with fruit, you need to be careful because some fruits do contain a high amounts of sugar. So I cut that down to 2 fruits a day. I stopped adding sugar to food on my plate. I did everything that was required of me. And yes, it started to work. My glucose level dropped down to 45 or 6.3%, but I was still pre-diabetic. So I still had a lot of work to do. In 2023, my glucose level dropped down to 44 or 6.2%. And I thought, wow, finally, I am in control of this and I'm making it happen. I am actually reversing my diabetes status. This was still pre-diabetic, and so I still had a lot of work to do. In 2024, my doctor put me on medication to help my body to manage the condition. I increased the amount of physical activity I was doing. I walked a lot more. I continued with the strict diet, which included low calorie and low carbohydrate foods. Continued to eat fruits and vegetables. I continued to eat whole grain foods. I continued to eat things like lentils. Um, and also, I had to do a lot of research with fruits because some fruits do contain a lot of sugar. And so you need to know which fruits to choose, which ones to eat in moderation, and which ones to avoid. Now, unfortunately for me, mango is my favorite fruit, and I used to eat a lot of mangoes, not realizing that mangoes actually contain a lot of sugar. And so, what I decided to do was to eat mangoes in moderation now. So I'm still enjoying my mangoes, only not eating them as much as I used to do before. I also started doing intermittent fasting, which helps the body to burn stored energy, including fat. The other thing I did was I started to look at healthier methods of cooking foods, like baking or grilling instead of frying or even deep frying food. And so the recipes that I'm going to share with you are recipes which are geared towards helping people who are diabetic or pre-diabetic to cook their foods in using healthier methods. Now, a lot of sacrifice has gone into this, and as you can see, from what I've said, I've had to make a lot of lifestyle changes. But you know what? I am so happy that I made those changes because now I'm healthier. I am almost completely free of diabetes. And so, yeah, there you have it. 2025. Early this year, my blood sugar level dropped to, wait for it, 42 or 6.0%, which is the borderline of pre-diabetes and normal. I was over the moon. I was so happy. I jumped for joy because finally my hard work had come to fruition. Now I'm managing the condition, and of course, I'm going to continue with the strict diet, regular exercise, and the medication. Because the thing is, with diabetes, it's a bit like going on a slimming diet. When you're doing it, everything is fine, you lose weight, and so on. And then the minute you stop, all the weight comes back and more. So you have to continue with the strict nutritious diet. You have to continue with the regular physical activity, and you have to continue with whatever medication your doctor has put you on. Now, my next routine blood test is due in December this year, and I'm hoping to get the all clear. I will definitely let you know what happens when I get my results. I hope that my diabetes reversal story will inspire and encourage people to work at changing their diabetes status. It requires discipline and dedication, but it is very, very doable. You can leave any questions you have in the comment section and I will answer them directly to you. Wishing you good luck in your reversal, and remember, with hard work, anything is possible. Now that I've told you my diabetes story and how it is possible to reverse the status, I will begin to share with you my diabetes friendly recipes. So keep your eyes open for the first one, which is coming very, very soon. Until next time, bye.